Tonight, students are encouraged to participate in Troy University's 125th birthday celebration.
Plus, the Waffle House turned things up a notch last night for Valentine's Day. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for February 15th, 2012. I'm Tiffany Lester.
And I'm Courtney Steele. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy University's 125th birthday celebration is coming up and everyone is invited, but there is some concern that students might not have gotten the message. Troy's worldwide birthday celebration is coming up on February 24th. But students aren't aware of the big event. For several weeks, the SGA has been discussing how to make sure students know that Troy University will actually hold a birthday party on campus. The SGA doesn't want students to have an excuse not to come.
We've been hearing about it for over a semester now, so I feel like students should really just be curious about what the big deal is with the 125th birthday. It's going to be a great time. It's going to kind of be like an extreme pep rally. So you're going to go into the Trojan Arena, there's going to be signs, there's going to be a balloon drop, there's going to be prizes, and it's just going to be really fun. So I think that students need to know that it is going to be a good time. It's not going to be just an excuse to get out of class.
Troy University's 125th birthday celebration will be in Sartain Hall February 24th and is set to begin at 11:30 a.m. All classes on Troy's main campus are canceled that day from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
If you live on campus, you may have heard the Resident Hall Association, but don't know what they do. Well, Rachel Scarborough gives us a look at the organization.
The Residence Hall Association serves as the voice for students living on campus, making recommendations regarding college issues, acting as a liaison between students and the Department of Residence Life, and standing up for students' rights and concerns.
What we do is we try to get residents out of their rooms and into other activities on campus. And we do this through UAC, TWA, and various events held by RHA.
RHA provides students with many opportunities to get out of their room and meet new people.
We let them know about lots of the events on campus. We also have community builders that RHA sometimes hosts, and last year we did the Oktoberfest, so we got a lot of students out of their rooms and onto the campus. And we also ask that other clubs publicize in the residence hall so that we can get students out of their rooms.
Anyone who lives on campus is a member of RHA, and President Porter says that RHA is looking for new people that want to help out the organization.
In past years, we haven't had that many people attend the meetings. The meetings have been very small. We've had less than 10, 15 people at every meeting. So now we're trying to do a membership drive and make people aware of RHA.
Rachel Scarborough, Troy TrojanVision News.
The next meeting of RHA will be Monday at 4:30 in the Trojan Center Room 119.
Alabama was the birthplace of the civil rights movement, so there are plenty of stories to be told about the struggle. A documentary telling one of those stories was screened for Troy students this week. Jamarla Phillips has the story.
On behalf of celebrating Black History Month, Monday night, Troy University welcomed freedom rider Edward Wood and filmmaker Stan Arthur.
I work as a video producer full-time for Stetson University College of Law, and for a number of years we've been doing an annual civil rights trip with a bunch of law students. During one of those trips, we have symposiums in all the cities that we go to, and during one of those symposiums, I saw Edward Wood speak in Anniston, Alabama, and I was immediately taken by him. And thought at that time that if I had the opportunity, I would want to come back to Anniston sometime and film his life story. And 3 years later, I got the opportunity to do that.
Wood says he hopes the film motivates and encourages students to strive for the best and to make use of what today has to offer that was in existence years ago.
I'm always glad to show it. I want as many people to see it as possible, and especially young people, so that they will take advantage of the opportunities. I hope that they'll see it and start thinking about bettering their condition, take advantage of the opportunities that exist now that did not exist in my day. This is my whole agenda. It breaks my heart to see too many of our young people not taking advantage of the condition that exists, not going to school, not preparing themselves. And if I can do anything or say anything to help them, I'm willing to do that.
One student says he thoroughly enjoyed the film, but was even more inspired by the speaker.
The experience more so than the documentary, being in front of someone I consider history. Like I said, the best history lesson is from someone who was there. And like I said, I was very appreciative, and it was a great experience. Like meeting him, he was a very humble guy, personable. I was happy.
Jamarlo Phillips, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Troy screening was one of 2 done for Troy students this week. The screening for the film was held on a Dothan campus on Sunday as well. Well, Waffle House may not be the first place you think go to take your date for Valentine's Day.
It's really not. But the last night, Waffle House turned things up a notch and provided couples with a cozy romantic atmosphere. Derek James gives us a look inside.
Valentine's Day was a day full of love, even at America's favorite place to eat, the Waffle House. Waffle House transformed itself to give a 5-star feel. The tradition in Troy started last year, and they just had to bring it back.
So now, as a part of the Valentine's event, we just want to do something to bring families closer. And we have a huge family. A lot of the people that eat with us, as in many restaurants, are regulars. We have our own Waffle House regulars, and we just want to be able to give something back for them and make it kind of a special event for them versus just day-to-day coming into the Waffle House, getting your cup of coffee and leaving.
The special for that night was a dinner for 2, which included a drink, a salad, an entree, and a dessert. But if that is not the meal you wanted, there was no problem to go with what you love.
Some people just have a tradition. Some people eat the same meal every time they come in, so we don't want to take that away from them. We want them to still feel comfortable and be able to have exactly what they want to have versus shoving something down a person's throat.
Even though Waffle House was taking reservations, you didn't get turned around if you didn't have one.
We're going to allow them to come in and enjoy the evening. No matter what the reservation case is, we have space. We have an opportunity to take care of customers and make them feel comfortable in our restaurant. We're going to allow them to do that. I mean, that's just what we do.
And even though it wasn't the usual idea for Valentine's, many customers was excited and enjoyed their experience.
I think it's really cute. Usually, I guess the stereotype would be to go have dinner at a nice place, at a 5-star restaurant or something, but I'm glad that Waffle House is here to give college students a chance to have a fancy dinner without having to spend a lot of cash.
A waffle and eggs are always good, and of course you can go and get something really fancy somewhere else, but really and truly the company is the best part. The food is great, but if you got good company, it doesn't matter.
Derek James, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Darrell says there is no reason not to continue the tradition next year. So if you need a place to go next Valentine's Day, Waffle House will have a table just for you.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Adamsville, authorities say a 39-year-old Chambers County man died in an accident at Quarry. The Jefferson County Deputy Coroner Chris Moore says William Neal Fuller was pronounced dead yesterday at the site after heavy rocks fell on the machinery he was operating.
In Montgomery, a former state senator has testified that indicted state senator Harry Ann Smith offered him a campaign contribution if he would support pro-gambling legislation. Former Senator Steve French of Mountain Brook testified today in Alabama's gambling corruption trial.
And from Fort Deposit, another Alabama National Guard unit is heading to Afghanistan. Almost 120 members of the 781st Transportation Company are being deployed to provide transportation to other military groups throughout the region. Relatives and friends gave them a send-off this morning.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojans men's basketball team is on the road as they're gearing up for their next conference game. Justin Carroll will be in with all of the details later in sports.
But first, Iran says it has started using new advanced centrifuges at one of its uranium enrichment sites. We will have that story and more when we return.
Iran claims major advances in its nuclear program. I'm Danielle Nottingham at the White House. Coming up, why U.S. officials say it's no big deal.
Nice.
Yes, go! Yes!
No. Oops.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
over the course of time, Troy has consistently turned out quality graduates.
We're trying to develop future leaders.
If it had not been for Troy University, I would have never had the honor of being the Alabama Teacher of the Year.
We want to educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, the body to act, and we do that within the framework of one real university.
Troy University, in class, online, within reach. Troy.edu.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we will go to Tiffany Lester at the Global News Desk. Tiffany?
Thanks, Courtney. Iran is marking what it sees as two major advances with its controversial nuclear program. But U.S. officials say sanctions are working and they don't see anything new. Danielle Nottingham reports from the White House.
State TV showed Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad front and center as his country's scientists marked a big step forward with their nuclear program. They inserted the first nuclear fuel rod made in Iran into a reactor Wednesday. And officials say they also have a new generation of centrifuges up and running. They're designed to speed up the production of enriched uranium.
The ability to say that they are a nuclear power is a game changer for them.
Iran insists its nuclear program is for creating energy and medical research, but many nations, including the U.S., believe Iran is working towards a nuclear weapon.
The White House says Iran's claims are designed to distract attention from the damage that tough new sanctions are having on the country's economy.
And State Department officials insist Tehran's announcement is not that impressive.
We frankly don't see a lot new here. This is not big news.
Iranian officials signaled they're ready to return to talks with world leaders about their nuclear program, but several countries see this as a stalling tactic. The U.S. government is also keeping an eye on reports Iran is taking steps to cut off oil exports to some European nations. It appears to be a response to the European Union's ban on members from buying Iranian oil starting in July. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, the White House.
British researchers say that they've found a way to reduce hot flashes in breast cancer patients recovering from chemotherapy. They're trying talk therapy to reduce symptoms. Tina Kraus reports from London.
Susie Winbergen credits talk therapy for easing her hot flashes and night sweats.
It was just interesting to see how just talking about our experiences and what we were going through was just incredibly helpful.
She was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2008. Chemotherapy treatment brought on early menopause and the hot flashes that come with it.
It was that very much instantaneous and intense heat that seemed to come from nowhere.
Susie didn't want to turn to hormone treatment, so she signed up for a talk therapy study at King's College London. Researchers recruited about 100 breast cancer patients from clinics around London to take part in the experiment. Half of the women received their regular cancer care. The other half attended cognitive behavioral group sessions. A trained therapist helped the women change their behavior and use relaxation techniques.
We found that calm breathing and a calming thought together, women found that helped to diminish the impact of the hot flushes.
Women who had the therapy saw their symptoms cut in half after 6 months. Susie still gets hot flashes but says they're not as severe thanks to life changes she made through therapy.
Changing my caffeine intake, sugar intake, dare I say sometimes alcohol intake.
And researchers say it's not just for breast cancer patients. Any woman suffering through menopause could benefit from talking it out. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, including how prepaid credit cards are becoming more popular, you can tune into Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now, back to you, Courtney.
Thank you, Tiffany. And now Dustin joins us with a little bit of sports. So, Dustin, both the men's and women's basketball have away games. The women's play tonight, and I think the men's play tomorrow night.
That's right. The women will be in action tonight, and the men will be in action tomorrow. I'll get into that right now.
Okay.
After leading for the first 12 minutes of last Saturday's matchup with Western Kentucky, the Troy women's basketball team fell behind 24-22 at the half. before eventually falling to the Hilltoppers 59-36 at Sartain. The Trojans played without leading scorer D'Angela Sword. Sword was averaging 11 points a game this season, and in her absence, junior guard Sophia Kleeman led the team in scoring for the 4th time this season with 11 points. Kleeman continues to climb up the record books this season as she's currently ranked 8th in career assists for the Trojans. Kleeman and the Trojans will be back in action tonight as they travel to Jonesboro, Arkansas to take on Arkansas State. It'll be the first meeting between the two teams this season. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Troy is 3-5 all-time against the Red Wolves and 1-3 on the road. The Troy men's basketball team is coming off their first ever season sweep of Western Kentucky last Saturday. The Trojans defeated the Hilltoppers 83-76, and they were led by the shortest guy on the floor, coming off the bench to lead the Trojans in scoring. Junior guard Alan Jones put up 18 points for the Trojans, and as assistant coach Ben Fletcher says, Jones' play helped inspire this team to victory.
Alan sparked us, made a couple great plays on defense that got us going, got the steal and the dunk. But then again, after that, he still came back and made a couple shots, big shots to help extend that run.
Troy will look to pick up their 4th conference victory of the year Thursday night when they travel to Jonesboro, Arkansas to take on Arkansas State. The Trojans are currently 8-15 and 3-9 in Sun Belt play. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. at the Convocation Center. On the season, the Red Wolves hold a record of 10-17 and 4-8 in conference play. And the defending Sun Belt champion Troy baseball team is about ready to throw out the first pitch of the 2012 season. And if you can't make it to every game this season, you'll have an opportunity to see the Trojans on TV 3 times this year on CSS. They will make their first appearance on the network March 31st when they play host to Arkansas State. The Trojans will then make back-to-back appearances on the network when they travel to Lafayette, Louisiana to take on the University of Louisiana May the 5th. And then they will finish it off when they play host to South Alabama in the season finale May the 19th. The Trojans open the season Friday night when they begin a 4-game weekend series with Central Michigan. First pitch will be Friday night at 7 p.m. from Riddle Pace Field. Well, Courtney, Tiffany, everybody needs to go out Friday night and support the Trojans. A big crowd will do nothing but help the team.
Exactly. I'm really excited. The baseball season is just now getting started. We can go out and support our Trojans. Thank you, Dustin.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, soon students will get a little help while looking for their first job after college.
Plus, today we got a slight glimpse of what spring will look like in a couple of months. Erica, will this beautiful spring-like weather stick around for at least one more day?
Well, Courtney, it may not even stick around till tonight. I have more details next in weather.
Today is a special day. Today we gather as a nation and as an international community to recognize the selfless decision of one of the most influential women of our time. She's been recognized by religious figures and politicians around the world. To us, she's just Rachel, but to the rest of the world, she's the woman who, after having one too many drinks, chose not to drive home buzzed. Here today to honor Rachel is the family whose lives she spared.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Troy University's official student newspaper, The Metropolitan, comes out every Thursday. To give us a look at what will be in tomorrow's edition of the Trop, here's Ed Bailey.
Okay. Good evening, Troy University. Here's what you can expect to see in this week's edition of the Trop. News will have the scoop on the Newman Center dorms as well as the final word on alcohol sales at sporting events. Arts and Entertainment will have a review of My Anniston. And sports will have coverage of the men's basketball team's first ever season sweep of Western Kentucky. We'll also have coverage of softball's fast start as it prepares for one of the biggest home weekends in the program's history when 5th-ranked Missouri, among others, come to town for the Quality Inn Classic. And that's tomorrow's Trop Today. I'm Perspectives Editor Ed Bailey.
And now Derek James went for a look at weather.
So Derek, it's gotten a lot warmer today compared to yesterday and a few days before. Will we continue to see those rising temperatures, or will it get cooler?
Well, those rising temperatures will be consistent. We will see a rise in those. But we're going to be maybe having some rain systems coming in along with them. But I'll get into that later. First, let's look at our campus snapshot. As we look across the university's quad, we see that it's so much a nice night, nothing much going on just of yet. And as we look in our current conditions, we see skies are clear, temperature coming in at 64 degrees, dew point at 49 degrees, humidity at 58%, barometers at 30.12 inches and rising, with winds coming from the southeast at 6 miles per hour. Then as we go into today's stats, high of 72, low of 57. As of yet, there was no rain. Sunrise was at 6:26 a.m. and the sunset should start at 5:30 p.m. right after the show. And as we look at the temperatures around the state, Huntsville coming in at 61, Birmingham at 68, Montgomery at 69, Troy at 64, Phoenix City at 67, Dothan at 64, and Mobile coming in at 65. So it's pretty much a nice cool day across Alabama, and that's pretty much how it is across the whole region, whole southeast region. We're starting to see those 60s and 50s again. So we're getting warmer for today. But however, looking at the other parts of the United States, they're actually seeing about the same temperatures, mostly 30s and 40-degree weather. So they're still seeing those chilly temperatures. And as we go into current surface, we see that on the west, they have some high pressure systems coming through that area, giving them some nice dry weather right now. But as we go come across the United States, you see a cold front and low pressure system coming through, and by a mixture of a high pressure system and a low pressure system coming through. And along with that, they're bringing some rain. So looking closer into our region, we see there's a rain system coming across right now, heading into Mississippi and Tennessee. Already seeing some of it, but that rain may be moving close into our area. Probably around midnight, we'll probably be experiencing a chance to see that rain. So as we go the next 48 hours, as you can see, we might be seeing some heavy rain, probably about 0.5 to an inch of that. So as tonight, we may not have a thunderstorm, but there is a possibility, but there's not much of a possibility of a severe one. So as we go into Thursday, we see that rain could probably be about an inch, but it should move out just a little bit. With Friday, we're only probably seeing a drizzle. And then on Saturday, we probably have another great chance of seeing that rain, probably about a 90% chance. So it's very likely that we may be seeing it. And then on Sunday, we should also see another chance of rain, but that's probably about a 30% chance, and it's just going to be a light rain. As we go into tonight, overcast skies, a chance for thunderstorm and rain with winds coming from the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour with a low of 57. So it's not going to be a very chilly night. Tomorrow, overcast skies again with a chance of thunderstorm and rain showers. Winds come from the south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour with a high of 70. Then for our class outlook, it's going to be a warm day, but by 10 o'clock, you may want to get that rain checking because that's when the rain should start for the day. So you want to stay inside, stay in the library. It's nice and quiet where you can enjoy your study time. And now as we look at our 4-day forecast, we see just about for the rest of the week, we may be experiencing some rain, with Friday giving us just a day off, but highs in the 60s and lows in the 50s and 40s. So as you can see, we have a very good chance all across the rest of this week to see a chance of rain. Saturday is going to be our biggest chance. We're probably a 90% chance. So you want to make sure all week you have that rain jacket and those rain boots on hand.
So this was a nice, warm, sunny hump day with the start of a rainy weekend.
Exactly. It's just getting us ready for the rain. Just giving us one last day to enjoy.
Thank you,
Thank
Derek.
you.
Thank you.